So I would say that most people have never even heard of an Alfa Romeo, but it's right up there with Maserati and Ferrari. And that's part of a status symbol, is that your friends and your neighbors go, ooh, a BMW, ooh, a Mercedes, ooh, a Maserati or a Ferrari. That's how elite Alfa Romeo is that most people have never even heard of it. That's a crown. That's a human figure coming out of the mouth of this snake or dragon. This same image, there are pictures online where you can see that it's been mowed into the lawn of Italian Prime Minister Silvio de Berlusconi. I just thought I'd show you that, be a quick stop here at the Alfa Romeo of Salt Lake before we head to show you the dragons all over the building, the city and county building, which is the seat of government in Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County, according to the Wikipedia. The Salt Lake City and County building. That's where we're going next. So this is the city and county building, and I'm taking a little bit of a distance shot here just for size reference of the cars going beneath and the Tartarian architecture. So this one here says it was rededicated. Here you can see the square and the compass, center screen with the G in the middle. Rededicated by Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Utah, Lynn J. Brady, MWGM, April 29th, 1989. Come around this side. Laid by the Masonic Fraternity, W.N. Schilling, Grand Master, July 25th, 1892. Just keep that in mind. And I don't know who in their PR department decided to put the A in there and say, hey, these are free and accepted Masons. And is the A supposed to be there so that society in general accepts the Masons? Hey, we're accepted. It's right there in our name. Just like Antifa's anti-fascist. We're accepted. Or is that a differentiation between Masons that are not accepted by other Masons? I'm not sure. Just remember that, 1892. So it's got some years on it. And it's got some dragons on it. Right? Here a dragon. Here a phoenix. Right. And here in a minute we'll go over some of the other detail of the fine handcrafted design of the whole thing, but right now we're doing dragons. And then we'll go over some of the other stuff that's here also. But right now it's all about the dragons. Let's go check out some more dragons. Right there. See that guy? I guess I shouldn't have done that. I'll back up a little bit, but these are right above the doorway. So I gotta back out here a bit to even get those dragons in frame. So we got one here, one here, one here, one here, and this is the city and county building. So just like any other business, what's over the front door is the product and service they provide and the name of the company, who it is that's providing the product and service. Maybe we'll get a shot of these from the other side, from a little bit of a side view profile. So I'm going to walk right over here and take a shot looking up at those so you can get a little more of a side profile. But it's pretty clear those are dragons, right? So just right up front here, those two got wings. And where was the other one that we started out with? Hold on, I'm losing track of my dragons. There we go. So that one's clearly a dragon. You can see the dragon tail and everything. So we got one. This one could be a phoenix or a dragon. But we definitely got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to show you some over here on this other corners, hanging off these other edges. And then clear around the back side, I'm going to show you some more. Included in the links included in the description of this video. Let's try and get these ones from a side profile before we move on. Here a dragon. There a dragon. And there a dragon. There a dragon. Darby dragon. So, in the original video that I took of this place showing these dragons, it was split up into 2 videos. I'll include those in the description, part 1 and part 2, where I split it up into 2 videos just because I'd push stop or whatever. By the time I got around to the back side of the building and I'm filming all these dragons, up shows Grim Ghost Tours. And they show a little tiny representation of these dragons that's stamped into the concrete around the backside here. And they point at it and ask, does anyone know what this is? And I yell out, I'm like, it's a dragon! Clearly, serpent body. I don't want to stick my finger in there and throw the focus out. See the serpent body, see the giant fangs, see the claws, see the ears or wings. There's another one. And this is City Hall, 1892, remember. One there, one there. That's what you hang over the front of your building, is a sign that shows the product, the service, and who's in charge, who it is bringing you this product and service. Right? So there's 2 more carved in stark relief that are sticking out from the building, not just a stamp stamped into the concrete. Okay? It looks like there's probably more up here in the corner, but those are a little too far away, like right there. Those are a little too far away to really be sure. So we'll just stick with these because there's more over here in this corner too. Right there, those are probably more dragons. So let's walk up on this one. Clearly a serpent body, like a dragon. The claws, the fangs, and either giant ears or wings like bat wings. Right? 1892 is when this place was first, built, and the cornerstone was laid by the free and accepted Masons. And so when I first made this video going, wow, look at this, all the dragons. For one, something like Comic-Con had just let out, and there's these guys walking around with crossbows and looking like they're something out of... they were doing that, live action role playing stuff. It was a Utah version of Comic-Con called FanX. And I point out to these guys that look like dragon slayers from the knights of old. One of them's literally carrying a crossbow. And I tell them, nice crossbow, and they're taking pictures and stuff. I tell them, look, there's dragons right there on the building. He's like, huh, yeah, okay, let's go back to what we were doing. Pays no attention. He's more interested in, live action role playing than the mysteries of reality that exist all around him. Huh? So that's not necessarily a dragon, nor is this. So here in a second, I'll just show you all the other stuff there is to see. But by the time I got around to the back here, let me find it real quick. Okay, maybe the one that I'm looking for is actually around this backside. So as we walk down there, I'll tell you the story that you can see in the video that's going to be in the description here, where as I'm taking my first video of all of this, a group shows up in a van called Grim Ghost Tours. There's a bunch of faces too, so there's these. Bunch of faces, but I'm looking for the other dragon that's carved into the stone over here. Anyway, Grim Ghost Tour shows up and they all jump out with their e-meters, you know, those ghost detectors. They're all holding their little e-meters in their hands, trying to do like a ghost hunt kind of thing. And they all pile out of the van with their e-meters, and the leader of the ghost hunting tour, Grim Ghost Tours, points towards a very small stamp that's just embedded into the concrete of the dragon and asks, does anyone know what that is? And I say, it's a dragon. And she looks over at me like, you're not even part of the tour. What are you doing? And someone else from who's with their tour says, Griffin. And she said, oh, okay, anyone else? Anyway, she says, that's there. Here's some more dragon heads. Clearly. She said, that's there, this little tiny, basically my point of saying that it's a small, stamped-in version of these that we've been showing you, big, stark relief carvings that stick out from the building. She shows them one little spot where it's stamped into the side. She doesn't show them all the other versions of the same depiction that are all over. Wings, claws, that's a depiction of the same animal as we've been seeing depicted in the other carvings all around the whole building. And she says that's there, and she doesn't show them all the versions that I'm showing you here. She shows them the smallest representation of this dragon and says it's there because early Utah settlers reported seeing a lake monster out there in Salt Lake. I would beg to differ. These are not carved all over this building because of something like what we would think of as an urban legend, because people said they saw something like Bigfoot or UFO or Loch Ness. These are carved all over the building as if whoever was here revered and almost worshipped these. This is who's in charge here. If you were a anthropologist trying to study ancient culture, here's another one of that jaguar, and there's another one that's a non-human head. See that? That's not a human face. That one either. There's the Knights of Malta. I don't think I even seen. This one isn't in the other video. That's the first time I've seen that one. And that looks like just another carving of that dude right there. And there's enough of him carved all around here that it's more significant than urban legend at the time. People said they saw something in the lake, like a Loch Ness. And I titled that video, the first version I've made of this, Loch Ness Mother Revelations Confirmed, because I had already said multiple times our mother has been demonized and turned into a monster, as in our Loch Ness mother. And Grim Ghost Tours says that the reason these dragons are on this building, there's another version. Here's the head, here's the leg, here's the tail that wraps back around over here and curls up over here. Grim Ghost Tours says that the reason they put this dragon image on there is because it's a lake monster, and she says not all lake monsters look like Loch Ness. And in those days, 1892, early Mormon settlers reported seeing something like Loch Ness out there in the Salt Lake. I beg to differ. It's nothing like the sentiment of what we think of when we refer to sightings of Loch Ness, which are given about as much credibility and reverence as sightings of Bigfoot and sightings of UFOs. Oh, there's some up here that I didn't even see the first time, I don't think. So there's that one. Okay, center screen. Get your camera skills on. There we go. This is where we started, so there's another one. So there's this one and this one. And over here, same thing. One here, one here. And I still haven't found the one that she pointed out to her ghost tour. That is a very small depiction of what I've been showing you of a whole bunch of different times here. Maybe it's right here. Let me find it real quick. Maybe it was this one that she was pointing out to her grim ghost tours. People that had paid for the tour. I'll have to look again. It seemed like a very small version. It seemed like an even smaller version than this. But either way, she said that the reason that is there is because early Mormon settlers had sightings of something like Loch Ness. And I would say they have something more like a reverence for these beings that is closer to a religious worship, based on how much they have depicted it and dedicated to the representation of these beings all over in the stonework here. It is far deeper than, like sightings of Loch Ness these days. Back then, people had sightings of something like Loch Ness in the Great Salt Lake. And so that's why they carved it all over in this building. I would say even the depictions here are like the tail. That looks like another version of the tail and another tail. There's also a lot of Egyptian motif going on here. And the Mormons have a connection to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. But I'll just leave that there because I'm kind of talking out of class now. There's another tail. That's a depiction of the tail. Here, 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 here. Over there, a tail here, even a tail right in the middle there. Those are all the same tail. Here. Where are we at? Same tail as what's going on right here above my finger. Right? I think so. So, oops, sorry, I'm letting the cat. I'm looking around for this other depiction of it that I thought she showed them a small stamped version of it. Anyway, I'll have to look at the original video. They'll be linked in the description. And not that Grim Ghost Tours is right about everything. They're not the be-all, end-all. But the fact that they showed up and gave any explanation whatsoever about these dragons while I'm taking the video is kind of uncanny. You think that's the same being? The head looks very similar, no? So back in 1892, horseback, no diesel engines. I don't think electricity was available. And they were living so luxurious, lavish lifestyles that they had nothing to do but carve this stuff up as ornate and intricate as it is. Something about history isn't what we think, because most people think they were living hand to mouth on horseback and doing everything they could to get the corn to grow so they could survive another year. Well, there's parts that they're not telling us, obviously, because we don't even build this these days. And there's another version of the tail, and another version of the tail, and another one here, and another one here. So if you were a historian coming back looking at someone else's architecture, you surely wouldn't just chalk it up to, oh, urban legend, myth, and lore. People said they saw something in the lake, and that's why they carved this guy all over in the building. No. You would say they had some sort of religious devotion and a reverence for these guys that they have carved all over in their buildings. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6 depictions of it right here on the front. And everywhere else that you see carved in. Are those horns? Hold on. For a minute I thought maybe those were horns. Anyway, 6 versions of it right here on the front of the building. No way you can just chalk this up to something like what we understand as urban legend. People said they had a sighting of something out in the lake. The fuck out of here. You don't go to this length to carve this all over the front of your building due to something like myth and legend. Where they at? There we go. Now we can get all 4 in one screen. You can see them at the 4 corners of the screen right now. So, you don't go to this great of a length to carve these things all over your building. There's 4 right... There we go. 4 in the corners right there. 5, 6. Let's count them as we go around. And I'm sure there's some that I've missed. Because the ones over here on these other corners... Oh, yeah, hold on. Like, I'm thinking that's probably one over there in the corner. Because it doesn't have the same thing in this corner, or this corner, or this corner. So I'm saying that's probably one carved into the corner over there. There's the 6 up front that we were already looking at. And I'm sure there's others around here that are escaping my notice. But there's 6 just to start on the very front and center, right over the main entryway. And I'm gonna have to ditch the nosy people that are like, oh, I can't stand them, I gotta get away from them. So I'll try and find these others. So there, it looks more like a cat, right? Jaguar, maybe, something like that. Now, if it was a bee and a beehive, you know what that has to do with. That's typical traditional Mormon symbolism. What's with these heads? I'm looking for the one that I found hidden earlier in this video. So there's those. There's these. So we got the 6 on the front over the main entrance. These are clearly 2 more. With the serpent body here and here. right over another main entrance. I should probably pause it while I'm looking around for more. But these are definitely dragon depictions, right? So if you didn't just believe whatever bullshit you were told about locals had sightings of Loch Ness and they would tell ghost stories at night around the campfire about what they seen. Yeah, you know, like urban legend, like UFO and Bigfoot and Loch Ness. People had some sightings of something. No one knows really what it was, though, so they just carved it all over their buildings. I'd say there's a little bit more to these carvings than people had sightings of something like Loch Ness. Don't want to hammer it into the ground too hard, but you get the point, right? There's more going on here than what we think of. The sentiment of people had sightings of Loch Ness and told stories about it, and no one really knew what it was. They just caught a glimpse of it as it disappeared back underneath the water, and so they carved it over the top of every entrance of their building. Because the 6 around front, we're going to call that 7, 8, and we got 2 here that look like jaguar heads. That could be 9 and 10. These are definitely numbered 9 and 10. This isn't the same front doorway. Oh, maybe it is. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to circle around the building again. But I'm pretty sure these are different. I'm pretty sure it has nearly the same thing on the back side. I will. I'm going to circle back around the other side because I think it has nearly the same depiction, because on the other side, it doesn't have this ram's head. Ram's head there, and the jaguar here. On the other side, it has the 3 archways and nearly the same exact depiction of where are we at? 2 dragons, one here and one here, and then one's up above them. So as soon as I'm done here, I will circle back around to the other side to show you that the other side has almost the same exact thing, but these are slightly different. I wish it would focus a little better. Yeah, so this is a different side because the other side doesn't have the ram's heads. And on this one, that's the head coming out off the corner right there. And another version of the same thing coming out off the corner over here. Right there. And right there. And these ones, you got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is not a Gothic cathedral. This is early Mormon architecture, supposedly. Let me try and get these from the side angle. So on this one, you can see the wings coming up off the back, the head, and the legs. And likewise with these ones below it, you can see the wings and the head. One there, one here. So they're above every doorway going around this thing. And whoever carved this did so for greater reasons than because of what we think of when people have had sightings of something. Like E.T., Sasquatch, Loch Ness. Nope, this was a reverence for a being that had much greater influence in their life than something they told around the campfire for oohs and ahs. For them to carve it right over the doorways. Ooh-ah. That's one sticking out, looking straight down at you as you walk in the building. That's two of them. That's pretty good profile. Yeah, there was more going on here than sightings like what we think of when we talk about Loch Ness. So on the other side, you have something very similar to these four with two here and then two here. Get my fingers out of the way. But down here, you got the dragon here and the phoenix there. On this side, you got a jaguar and a ram's head. Or something that looks like a jaguar and a ram's head. Here's a couple of them. The side profile that we were just standing beneath them. Looking down at the peoples as you walk in. Always someone watching over you. So there's that one, center screen. And then that one, center screen. Alright. Now you can see both of them hanging out there. Then we walk over here to get the profile. That's their head sticking out, looking down at you. Oh, there we go. I left one of them out of the view. So, dragons, Tartarian dragons. And so you got two entrances with the three archways, and you got 2, 4 above each one, so that's at least 8. And then above this one, got that one there, and this one over here, same thing. And then we'll go do the profile picture where you can see them looking down at you as you come into the building. Yeah, I'm sure it was just a sighting like Loch Ness. Yeah. Yeah, that explains it. Whoa, my neck is getting sore and I'm getting dizzy from looking up for so long. Yeah, it was just a sighting. Someone said they saw something, so they carved it in every corner and over every doorway. You can even see the tongue sticking out. Ah, I think that is what that is. That's the tongue sticking out. Dragons everywhere. And this is where we found the one tucked right up in there. So you got the jaguar head looking thing here, and another hiding dragon here. It's definitely not a human face. That's a human face. That's not a human face. Anyway, oh, there's another one. The head, the front leg, wrap the body around over here, and there's the tail back here on the backside. Oops. You see the other one there? So yeah, they didn't carve dragons all over their building because, you know, Loch Ness sightings. Because someone read in the Enquirer magazine that someone saw something. Nothing of the sort. More like a religious reverence.